Well, it is. Reason is a whore. But yeah, this idea that your very nature, your inquisitiveness, your you're being prone to mistakes. This process of learning somehow makes you
unacceptable.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's it.
in the worst possible way. I mean, it's one thing. There are plenty of people out there who, by and large, I'd say, they're pretty unacceptable. Clearly we have people who commit all sorts of atrocities, who are not very nice people. We have people who are stupid and moronic almost all the time about almost everything. Guys like, I don't know, Hannity, since I'm making fun of him today. But I don't think that Hannity, by virtue of his stupidity, or pick anybody else, I don't care, it doesn't matter, and I don't think that Hannity is necessarily a stupid person. He's probably a very bright person who happens to believe some really stupid things and say some stupid things, but I don't think he deserves to be beaten for it. I might laugh if somebody... No, I wouldn't. I mean, you have to beat him with like a loaf of bread or something soft.
I certainly don't think that we should go out and murder somebody else.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, it's like, let's go kill someone else to atone for this. I mean, atone for what? For being a human being.
Yeah.
That's really it. I mean, I don't know how we became the species that could not be ourselves without being wrong. And I'm sorry that a doctrine like that can take hold and that so many people can try and drill it into their children's heads that this is the reality, that it's moral that someone should have, that a blood human sacrifice had to be made to God in order to make you acceptable. Someone had to be beaten and slaughtered, and then this is the God we believe in. Then now he's cool with you.
Yeah, and what we haven't even got started on the absurdity of blood sacrifice. I mean, substitutional atonement is absurd enough on its own, and then when you add in that this particular type of substitutional atonement, it isn't one where, she owes you $5, but I'm going to pay it off for her, or she got a speeding ticket and I'm going to do the jail time for her or whatever. It's one of she's who she is, so we're going to kill somebody or something
right.
for it.
So we're going to take somebody.
The smell of blood just really, yummy. That's the way. I mean, it's, I'm only kind of slightly exaggerating. It's right there in the Bible where the smell of the blood sacrifice was pleasing to the nostrils of God. Get some new nostrils, you sick bastard. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and I think, I can understand how people would, especially in the times when we didn't understand the world to the degree that we do now, the idea of cause and effect and natural forces. But I can kind of understand how these people would take a religion and make it into something where it's very similar to what they had in reality. So I've got this society, we punish people for wrongdoing, we reward people for good things, and then after we die, the gods will do the same. If you're good, the gods are going to give you good things. If you're bad, the gods will do bad things to you. And it's just simply overlaying that same social reality onto like a mythological framework that represents your social reality. But how we got from being rewarded or punished based on the things you do in life, whether or not you are behaving as a good person or behaving as a bad person, doing good things or doing harmful things, how we got from that to you're going to be punished for being human, and the only way to get rewarded is to offer up a human sacrifice. And the reward isn't really for anything you did, it's just simply because you believed.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to callers in a minute, so if you want to go ahead and put the number up. I know we've got one caller waiting that I'm going to get to right away, but touching on this idea that the formation of religion is kind of an extension of who we are and how we interact, not being surprising at all. Given the number of times we have conversations on this show about morals, last week, we had a caller, and it's like, this whole idea of can you be moral without God, or don't you need some divine authority, or how do you derive your morals, or isn't that all arbitrary? All those discussions. Anybody who's a parent, and I'm not, but I can at least empathize. It's rare that you'll find a parent with sufficient patience that they will always stop to explain things to their kid no matter what. I think even the best parents, the most patient parents, are going to find a time when they are going to utter those words that all of us despise, and those words are, because I said so. We all know that this is a completely unacceptable answer. We've known it since we were kids, and they knew it when they were kids, and it's completely unacceptable. However, there are times when it's just kind of got to be that way in order for us to move on. I don't have time to sit here and argue to you about why you need to put your shoes on. We're going to be late. Do it because I said so, type of thing. But we have extended that to this idea of morals, and I have this image in my head of some tribal chief sitting around, and he's saying, we're not doing this and we're not doing that, and this is the punishment for this and this is the punishment for that, and there's some annoying little hunter-gatherer guy who's like, well, why? Well, why? And he keeps trying to explain over why. Because I said so. And if you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill you. I mean, I could see that happening. And that's how you get the kind of morality by fiat.
Well, plus you had kings, and the rulers had a little bit more power.
Yeah. Because I'm king.
And if you think about it, a lot of the gods were kings. You even have king references in the Bible.
Yeah. First king, second.
Well,
just having fun.
King of kings.
So, if the phones are working, I think we have Gregory in Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey, I can hear you a little bit.
Hey, first of all, Tracy, I wanted to say that was a really good sermon, for lack of a better term. I don't know what you call that, lecture, speaking your thoughts.
Okay.
Very, very well done. And since Matt was kind enough yesterday to listen to me explain some of my thoughts and ideas and a little bit of my belief, I thought I'd return the favor, and I'd like to ask you guys about what you believe.
About what?
Yeah, it depends about what.
Okay, my first question is, as atheists, I know most atheists don't believe in an afterlife, but I'm wondering if you believe that the existence of an afterlife is dependent on the existence of a God.
No, I wouldn't be. Now, that's the only reason I say that is because Buddhists believe in, like, reincarnation, for example, but they don't believe in a God. So I know that it's possible for a person to accept belief in, an afterlife and not accept belief in a God.
Yeah, on that front, I'm with Tracy. I don't believe in a God. I don't believe in an afterlife, but I don't believe that the concept of an afterlife is necessarily dependent on a God, although in most religions it would be.
Okay, and I understand you guys believe in evolution, so my next question is, do you believe that evolution is done with humanity?
Well, let me just clarify that I hope when you say you guys, you mean me and Matt specifically, because atheism is not tied to evolution.
Well, when I say you guys, I mean atheists in general. I get the impression that the two of you believe in evolution, although I could be wrong.
Well, I would say that Matt and I do accept evolution.
Because it's a fact.
But at the same time, I have to say that it's not. There's nothing about atheism that requires a person to accept evolution.
Yeah, if you were talking about, it's even wrong, I think, to say atheism in general as just a phrase, because it isn't an ism. The only reason the label exists is it's a response to an ism. It is a position on a claim, and outside of not accepting the claim a God exists or some God exists, there is no other unifying atheist position. I mean, it's a single point. Everything else is something else. Now, I will say that by and large, the people that you're going to run into who identify themselves as atheists in organizations like this or speaking out, by and large, you're talking about skeptical, rational thinkers who are atheists for those reasons. And so, yeah, you're going to run into pretty much people who don't have a view on an afterlife or do not accept claims about an afterlife and accept scientific evidence and the theories that explain that evidence, like evolution. Now, I don't understand your question.
Do you two specifically, Matt and Tracy, do you guys believe in biological evolution?
I do, yes.
Sure.
And as far as your question about whether or not it applies to human beings, I think that's what you're asking. And I would say yes, things like residual organs and nipples on males, yeah, I think I can't deny that there appears to be changes happening.